bones of the ashes. The spirits light up the night, looking down the edge of forever. So stop me and take my advice.
Now, from the Untold Radio Network, it's Untold Radio AM with Doug and Alex Hajicek.
Howdy ho.
Hey.
Welcome to Untold Radio, everybody. I am still I sound sick, but I'm not. But do I sound sick?
A little bit.
A little bit. Okay, but I'm not. I even had the old chest scan today. Lungs are fine.
Good.
Even though I was wheezing out, they couldn't see anything. Anyhow, so today it was balmy, 57 degrees. I saw guys driving motorcycles. I saw people pushing babies in strollers. You name it. I mean, I Quaker families, Amish families out today, people waving American flags in their swimsuits. It was weird. So it was a weird winter day. Blue skies.
Sounds like a weird day. Yeah.
It was a weird day downtown. Oh, there were strikers too. Striking, chanting, wanting more. They were trying to act angry, but it was kind of hard for them because it was such a beautiful day.
Because it was so nice.
Yeah, they were pretending to be angry, but I don't think they were. Anyhow, as I stood there and watched, it got less angry and more song singing. So it was interesting. Let's see. We have episode 178 tonight, January 30th, 2024. We have Angie, better known as Snow White Bigfoot, from Ohio. And I've gotten to know Angie a bit. And she has some amazing stories. And this is because she's had Bigfoots apparently visiting her property for many years. And if you had Bigfoots visiting you for many years, you'd have a story or two too, I bet.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for tonight.
Yeah, it should be. Oh man, I can't get over that guy waving the American flag in a swimsuit, barefoot, in Minnesota in January. I mean, still January.
That is so wild.
Yeah, it was crazy. So global warming, love it.
Oh yeah, bring it on.
I mean, I remember some rare Januaries where it was 70. When I was a kid, it just happens.
Yeah,
but it's kind of like what do you call it? A tease, but it's completely fake because we have the worst months of winter upcoming. February and March can be brutal.
Yeah.
I hope everybody though today experienced a little bit of warmth.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got? I don't think we have a lot of business. NASA reveals contents of an asteroid sample canister, but the lid is stuck.
The lid is stuck.
The lid is stuck. And I sent you this photo one of this black canister. Apparently it's black because it's charred, you think?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you see there's screws and bolts on there. Well, apparently there's contents of an asteroid in there. Inside that canister. There's samples.
That's cool.
And that is cool. But damn it, get a drill. If it stucks, just, I'd have that thing open in no time.
I know.
Crowbars, drills, hammers, get that thing open. So this is the Osiris, from the Osiris REX spacecraft. And these were harvested, just says from an asteroid. That's all. I don't know what asteroid. I have no idea. No idea. But they have 2.4 ounces of material in that thing.
That's I can't wait till they get it open. Come on, guys.
You can't. You don't care about what's in that damn. Some dust in there.
I mean, there's some alien dust in there.
Yeah. It's 35 fasteners to get it open. I just thought it's funny. I just say get a bigger drill. They can afford a drill, can't they?
I think so.
Okay, then apparently one of these fabulous windmills, these giant windmills with blades longer than like twice as long as a semi truck. Those blades on those windmills.
Yeah.
Photo too. Apparently it caught fire.
Oh no.
It says this is not the first one. And this causes quite a problem because these things are made of fiberglass, and it's just a massive problem, millions of dollars, millions, literally. So apparently they called fire crews out, and I don't think they could do anything but watch it burn. I mean, what are you going to do, right?
I know.
Thanks, Charles. And does somebody else see what else? Somebody gave us a super chat. Jennifer, thank you so very much.
Appreciate it. It means a lot.
Big time appreciated. So, I read another article. Did you read that they think the moon is falling apart and shrinking?
Yeah.
Did you read something about that today?
Someone sent me something on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a picture. But it says that apparently the moon is shrinking and crumbling, not just shrinking. So this is like clickbait beyond clickbait, right? And to me, I read into it's just another excuse not to go there. But it says powerful moonquakes recorded by Apollo seismometers over a half a century ago have been linked to fault lines and landslides near the moon's south pole. So apparently there's a new paper just been published on this thing. And the new paper suggests that Earth's only satellite, the moon, is falling apart.
So you don't want to put a moon base on there, probably.
No, you don't. And by the way, just so you know, you're frozen up again.
Beautiful.
Are they streaming? Are you got?
No.
Nobody.
I told them not to. The internet company said,
Oh,
we're good. So I'll go in tomorrow.
You got to figure something out. Yeah, it's really bad. Anyhow, that's just the fun of doing live internet shows. That's there. It says here the surface may become fractured by creases and cracks and could have potentially serious implications for astronauts daring to venture on the moon's surface. So NASA's saying that if they walk on it, the whole thing could be like this big dangerous. And I'm just thinking, B as in B, S as in S. I mean, I'm sorry. Come on, people. So that's definitely enough of that crap now. So please stop with this goofy articles. I mean, it's just goofy.
I know.
I mean, the moon's been there, what, 4 billion years.
Right.
Yeah. Suddenly it's falling apart. Maybe we should raise the taxes to prevent the moon from cracking. that could do it, right?
Yeah, that might help.
It's moon change. It's caused by what? What's moon change caused by? What's it caused by? Too many Kleenexes?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever? Okay, remember we've all heard this, that no one's ever seen a baby pigeon, right? You've heard that, right?
I've heard that. Yeah.
No, you haven't. Have you? Have you ever seen a picture
It
of a
sounds
baby?
like something someone would have told me.
Oh my God. It sounds like something somebody would have told me. Okay. This is it. Okay. Okay. Other people probably have not seen baby pigeons. There's an old saying, it's as rare as a baby pigeon. Because nobody can recall ever seeing one, right?
Mm.
Right?
I like that.
You like that? You like that concept? Okay.
Yeah.
But have you ever seen a newborn great white shark?
Never. But I bet you were going to.
Yeah, we are going to. Throw up photo 4.
Oh, look at
This
that.
is a newborn. Apparently, it still had some yolk on her. First time ever photographed a baby great white shark. The mysterious. So let me just read. This is apparently the first ever baby great white shark ever spotted in the world, ever photographed. You're looking at it right there.
Wow.
Do you care? That's the question.
I do. Why is it?
What?
Why is there only one?
What do you think? They're like hanging out with their family members? It's a shark. They don't have a lot of feelings, I don't think.
Sorry.
So anyhow, this is the first time a baby's ever been captured on film. Apparently, this is a 5 foot long baby, newborn. And it was pure white, and it's called a pup, which was thought to just be hours old. So everybody give a big aw.
Oh.
Didn't ask you to give an aw. Okay, so the guy that photographed, apparently it's a big deal. Carlos, I don't want to butcher his name, Una, a wildlife photographer, and Philip Stearns, a University of California biologist. They had apparently the pair, they were using an underwater drone camera to look for sharks off the coast of Santa Barbara. So there you go. All right.
It's cute.
No, you don't think it's cute. I don't think it's even cute.
Oh, look at it.
You think that thing's cute? I don't think so. 5 foot long, that thing could kill you.
Probably.
Like, newborn and then right away just kill you. I don't know.
Probably wouldn't end well.
Sharks are things just to kind of stay away from, I think.
Yeah, I would do that.
You would what? Stay away?
Stay away.
Yeah, 5 foot long newborn. Oh my goodness. All right. So apparently it's extra hard to get a photo of a baby shark. It's also extra hard to do trivia on concrete. I wanted to do trivia. Isn't that just terrible?
I'm ready for it.
Boring. It's going to be hard trivia. Hard questions to get it.
Let's hit the bumper.
You get it when I said it's going to be hard trivia on concrete? Okay, never mind. I don't know. Oh my God, you would not believe it. All my notes, hang on a second here, have been erased because I sent me your copy. The tricky copy, the one that so you don't know the answers.
Oh.
So that's fine. I think I have the other one here too. I'll get it. I hope. I don't know. We're just having a bad, what do you call it? A bad week?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so.
A bad week with
good weather.
A bad week with good weather. Yeah. Oh yeah. All my notes.
Life is balanced.
All my notes are gone. They're just gone. I'd have to take a break, go get them, send them back because I literally sent me the wrong notes.
Really?
Well, I erased them for you, and then I sent it to me. So it's like, well, how stupid can I be? Yeah. I literally tried to eat cereal the other night. And, you grab a fork or a spoon or whatever, for depending on what you're going to eat. I grabbed a fork, and I'm sitting there with my bowl of cereal with milk, and it took a couple of bites to realize I had a fork versus a spoon. That's what happens when you get old like your dad.
Oh gosh.
You do stupid crap like that.
Do you do the thing where you drive?
Huh?
You drive somewhere you normally drive, but you meant to go somewhere else?
Yeah, that happens all the time too. Sure. Yeah, that happens. So I'm like, I don't even feel like going and getting those notes. Or should I?
You should send them. We gotta do it. I can do an ad break now.
All right, do an ad break and I'll go get my dumb
Right,
notes.
All right, he's gonna get the trivia. All right.
All right, bye.
Turn up the dial, feel the vibe, get ready to ignite. Untold stories in the airways, flying through the night. Experience voices, tales so bold. Streaming live, the truth unfolds. Untold Radio Network, where secrets come alive. New episodes daily, the mysteries thrive. Great guests, super chat, it's so I remember share and subscribe. Join the side where truth can't hide. Aliens in the alley, UFOs in the sky. Cryptids lurking, oh my, oh my. Ghosts in the hallway, whispering your name. The paranormal, the unexplained. Become a VIP, get the inside scoop. Unlock the mysteries, be part of the group. Live streaming stories, they're talking to you. Super chats buzzing, join the crew. Untold Radio Network, the secrets come alive. New episodes daily, the mysteries thrive. Great guests, super chat, it's a wild member. Share and subscribe, join the side where truth can hide. So if you've got the guts and you want to explore, tune into the Untold, it's what you're looking for. From aliens to ghosts and all that's unseen. Untold Radio Network, where the world's mysteries convene.
Hello once again to everybody out there in Untold Radio Land. This is Brendan Brown, host of the fastest 30 minutes in the cryptid world, This Week in Bigfoot. Here's what we got coming up on this Sunday show. Stagnation, pandering, and lack of accountability. Bigfoot Society's Jeremiah Byron stops by to help us address these dirty words currently dominating podcasts and live streams. Yowie thermal footage from down under, unsettling howls from British Columbia in the Bigfoot Rundown, and Snowwalker Prime meets his heroes and goes camping with Russ and Myra in a brand new 2 Minutes With. These stories and a whole lot more this Sunday night at 6:15 on the next This Week in Bigfoot, only on CARC Universal. You better be there.
Hey Untold Radio Network fans, want exclusive perks and to support our channel? Introducing our YouTube membership program with 3 amazing levels. Get loyalty badges that level up to different cryptids the longer you're a supporter. How cool is that? You'll also get access to custom Bigfoot emojis and priority in chat. Upgrade to Backstage Pass for exclusive wallpapers, photos, status updates, discounted books, and merchandise. Go all in with the producer level for everything mentioned plus member shoutouts. Ready for an enhanced experience? Join now, pick your membership level, and let's make this journey even more exciting together.
Howdy. No luck. I destroyed my notes.
Oh no.
I found them, and then when I sent, it's a long story. I'm screwed.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We'll come up with something.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I had some interesting stuff, and I just like you could kick yourself. Whatever.
It's just one of those days. We got to pay for the good weather somehow. You know,
well,
everything's in balance.
Well, we have you were in slow motion, then fast motion, slow motion, and fast motion.
Beautiful.
Yeah, your lips aren't even moving. Frozen. So yeah, we're batting 100 here. So what do you want to do? You want to do my clips, which I don't even know if I have any notes on because I take them away for old Alex. No, I don't even have those. I have nothing. I have no notes.
We can go to the clips. Come on.
I can't. I don't have any.
I
You
have
do.
them.
I don't.
All right. Well, let's.
Yeah, it's bad. This is bad. I'm like, really? Like what? I don't have anything. No, it's weird. It's like they've just all disappeared. I am looking. Let's give me a second here. Maybe. They have changed the interface, which is really great on my email. You know, they do that grouping.
Yeah.
Or if it's from the same person, they group them all together.
They just pile them all together.
And they're all piled. And so it's just doing really weird things like, do you want to see a detailed view? Well, yeah, that'd be nice. You know, when you open something up, that would really be nice to see a detailed view. I mean, it's like technology is driving me nuts because they get it perfect and then they upgrade it and then you get it and you get used to it. Then bam, they upgrade it again and you're completely all screwed up again. Which is what happened to our program for the podcast last week.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. It was a perfect storm of that and internet problems, and our guest was having internet problems. Their internet went out in the whole area. A storm.
Yeah, no, I'm literally completely. Let me look here. I'm trying something else. Okay, I just got my clips in. But that's it. All my trivia notes are gone. Let me look. Did I get... No, I didn't get my clips in. This is really weird, Alex. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. Is our guest in?
No, but she should be here in 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay.
I've got
you. Well, we'll do this then. Can you just entertain and run something, and I will be right back. I'm going to try to solve this mystery.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Hangar One Publishing. Books that explore the unknown.
They're after my story.
Legends leap off the pages of our books.
You think you're the only one? They're under my heels too.
From UFOs to cryptids, Bigfoot and beyond.
Who's behind all this?
Hangar One Publishing, where every legend is revealed.
It's Hangar One Publishing. They're unraveling all of our mysteries.
Dive in, real videos, sights and sounds with our immersive book technology.
I guess our secrets are out now.
But in the best possible way.
From Bigfoot tracks to galactic trails, we cover it all.
We should get out of here before it's too late.
You're right, let's plan.
Escaping reality? Dive into ours. Hangar One Publishing, revealing the universe's best-kept secrets, one book at a time.
All right, guys. Did you have any questions for Angie tonight? She should be here in about 10 minutes. And don't ask me any questions. I'm not that interesting. Oh, wait. Hey.
I have success.
You did it.
You know what I had to do? I had to
What?
rename the email.
Oh,
in order to get it to come
smart.
in. That was smart. Because I was like, why does it gets here and it's not the email I sent? It was like they kept trying. I don't know. Anyhow, I've got all my notes.
Good.
And it wasn't anything I did.
Cool. And then
usually it's everything I did.
And Angie's in the back room, so as soon as we get through presentation, we'll have her on.
Okay. Anyhow, so I wanted to talk. Well, one, there was a building material was invented, right? And it was invented by this guy. I swear to God, the guy's name is Stone. That's his name. And this new material it actually really does sound really cool. It is, let me look here because now I gotta get my new place again. It's way stronger than concrete. His name is David Stone.
I want that name. That sounds like a solid guy.
David Stone. And he invented this new material. It started playing around with Arizona desert stuff. And this has been published in in science journals now. And they claim it could transform buildings completely, this new type of concrete. Because as you know, concrete probably hasn't been improved for eons. Certainly in your lifetime, concrete's pretty much the same, right? But this new stuff is called Ferroc. Ferroc, yes. And they think this thing will just transform all buildings. It'll be used in 3D printing buildings, which is kind of going to be a new thing. They're just going to pull up to your lot. They're going to grade it, pull up to your lot, and this big thing is just going to 3D print your building. You know, this shell.
Yeah, I've seen videos.
And the internal walls. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Anyhow, so it was an accidental discovery in a lab, which is the way it usually goes. You know how this goes. And apparently it's using waste steel. Parts of it are waste steel. But here's what's cool. It is 20% better in split tensile strength, 18% better in flex strength. And apparently in 28 days, it's reached this really amazing strength where concrete takes longer than 28 days. So I just think it's interesting.
I think it's cool.
Oh, and plus 95% of the materials in Ferroc are recycled.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yes. Okay. So now my concrete trivia will make more sense.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Do it.
I will. Oh, by the way, did you hear they're gonna go and strip everybody's fruit trees in California to try to control some fruit fly? Did you hear about that?
No, that's horrible.
It's just like, no, it's not horrible. It's just stupid. That's not going to control a fruit fly. You're not going to get everybody's fruit. It's just, I don't know. I read stuff like this and I just think, oh my God. If you have an invader fruit fly, you're not getting rid of it. It's there forever.
Can you imagine someone taking your fruit from your tree?
I read a lot of ridiculous news. And there was another ridiculous clickbait news about they're doing DNA testing on octopuses from like the northern regions and the southern regions, and they're doing their DNA and going, oh, they've been mating these two different octopuses from the north and the south. Therefore, that spells disaster for the future of climate change. And I'm thinking, oh my God. I mean, it's fine. No one said the climate isn't changing. I'm sure it is. It's been changing for 400 million years. Okay. Anyhow. All right. So let's get into this concrete thing. Hold on. Just give me a second. I'm completely off my game. Okay. As I said, this will be hard trivia. So, who were the first to develop concrete? What culture? I mean, you know a lot about history.
Was it like the Greeks?
What was the ancient Romans?
Okay, so
The Greeks, sort of not. Was
you're like, nah, you don't get that.
yeah. In early concrete was lime, water, and volcanic ash.
Oh, cool.
So it was, and we use lime. I mean, today it's lime. I don't think we have volcanic ash in our concrete. Let's look here. How many tons of concrete do you think we produce in a year? The world.
How many tons in the entire world?
Tons of concrete do we?
5,000 tons.
5,000? No, 2 billion tons.
Okay, not even close.
2 billion tons of cement are produced each year. That's
Whoa.
crazy. So apparently the Venetian Hotel in Vegas held the U.S. record for the largest continuous concrete foundation pour, just for the foundation, the base.
Yeah.
And then it was 21,000 cubic yards in 2014. But apparently now the record is beaten. Not by much, just by 200 cubic yards. By the Wilshire Grand Center in LA. Who cares? Nobody cares. Thomas Edison held 49 patents related to concrete. This is anything that guy didn't do.
49 just with concrete?
Just with concrete. Yeah, I always go, huh? Was there anything that man did not invent?
Yeah, and
where did he
did
come
not
from?
patent. Did he patent 1,000 things?
Where did this guy come from? I mean, sewing machines to record players. It's crazy.
Maybe he's a man from the future.
Well, I think so. Oh, I want to feature this. There's a book I want to feature because it was written in the 1800s, and it just tells an amazing story of today that's so accurate, it's scary. And the story is about time travel. That's where it gets cool.
Whoa.
And really weird. Think about it. A story written in 1800s about time travel that predicted, beyond a coincidence.
That's an incredible.
Like exact things, names of people. Literally the names of people. Names of presidents.
Whoa.
That would be elected in the future. Hundreds of years in the future. It's nuts. All right. There are apparently 6 billion cubic meters of concrete that are made each year, which equals 1 cubic meter for every person on Earth. So you have had 1 cubic meter of concrete made
nice.
last year in your name.
I was making some concrete last night.
Yeah? I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Okay.
Okay, too much.
Okay, apparently 3 Gorge Dam is the largest concrete structure. I always thought it was Hoover Dam. In the world, it stands 607 feet high, and it's 7,575 feet long. That's crazy. A mile's like 5,200 and some feet long. So it's over a mile. That's a big piece of concrete, man.
That's huge.
What year was the first concrete road built, Mr. Alex? If you get this, I'll come over and shovel your driveway next time it snows. If you get it exactly the year. Do not Google cheat. Alex, I can tell.
Was it Sometime.
You're cheating.
Was it sometime in the 1900s?
Yeah, but you got to give me the exact year, and you're cheating.
I'm not cheating.
Oh my God. I know you are. Smile if you're cheating.
Am I getting warm?
It's 1909. You're not. You already know it. So apparently, it was Woodward Avenue between 6 and 7 Mile Road in Greenfield Township, now northwest Detroit, was the first concrete road.
So that's just a little over 100 years.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of crazy to think
And
about.
so if you thought that trivia sucked, right? I know you did, and I'm sure everybody thought it sucked. Now we're going to do it on straws. Just a few questions on straws.
Okay, I like this.
Did you like my pun? That concrete sucked, that trivia. Now we're going to do it on
because
straws.
it's straws, because you suck things up with a straw.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'm so good, ain't I? Okay. When was the earliest known drinking straw made? Anybody want to guess?
5 BC.
I got to click back my comments. What?
5 BC.
5 BC. What the hell? What dimension do you live in? It dates back to 2000, all the way back to 3000 BC. They found apparently straws in a tomb that belonged to the Sumerians.
Whoa. Okay.
God knows what they were made out of back then.
Leaves?
No, it would have been, what's that stuff called? Reeds.
Papyrus?
Reeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, reeds, I'm sure. It doesn't say, but.
Preserved somehow.
Oh, it does kind of say. It says it was made out of gold and precious stones, these straws.
Okay.
All right. And what do you think they were drinking with that straw back 3000 BC? You'd never guess. What were they drinking with that straw?
Grape juice?
Beer.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And no, it wasn't Grain Belt, and it wasn't Coors.
It wasn't Coors.
Coors Light.
Are you
back
sure?
then.
There's probably a commercial where that's happening.
Yeah.
Well, I said grape
Apparently,
juice.
they found rye residue on the straw.
I could have. If I guessed wine, would I have given me half a point?
No, it was beer.
I mean, it's alcohol.
No. Modern drinking straws were invented in where? It's actually the state where our guest lives.
Ohio?
Yes, Ohio. So there you go, Angie. Your state invented the straw, the modern straw. And then flexi straws were created in what year? You know, the bendy straws with the elbow straws. What year?
1776.
1776 is Alex's guess. It was 1937.
Oh.
Was the bendy straw. That was I read how he invented it. I don't want to get into it. It's kind of a long story, but it's pretty cool. The guy used like string and screws, and it's just weird how he ended up making that bendy straw. But I was thinking about it. Yeah, that wouldn't be so easy. Let's see here. What else? I'm almost done. I know this trivia sucks.
I like it.
Yeah, it does suck, all right.
No.
Straw trivia sucks.
Well, yeah, technically.
Drinking straws are said to lower the incidence of what? What will it lower if you use a straw?
Heart attacks.
No, tooth decay.
Oh, yeah, because you're not getting stuff on your teeth.
Yeah, lowers tooth decay. Yep. And, carbonated drinks will, bypass those teeth. All that stuff's acidic and sweet. And, yep. I'm just looking. I'm going, yeah. I don't give a crap. Hospitals were the first to embrace the bendable straw because they allowed patients to drink from laying down in bed. Makes sense,
That's
right?
smart. Yeah.
Yep.
It does make sense.
Up until what year did paper straws rule the market?
1962.
I'm really glad you're putting that straw picture up now.
A little behind there.
He tried to sneak that damn picture in there, thinking I wouldn't notice. He waited till I looked the other way, and then he sticks it up. Oh my God. That was funny. You did. You tried to sneak that up, hoping I wouldn't notice. Oh my God, that's killing me. So what year did paper straws rule the roost? What year did they die?
1982.
1982 until 1960s, and then plastic straws took over.
Yeah, now they're coming back though. You can't get plastic at Disney.
No, I know. Paper straws are coming back.
Yeah, and they're great too. If you've ever had a paper straw.
Oh, yeah, they get nice and soggy and quit working after a few minutes. Oh, it's awesome. Especially in hot weather. They're awesome.
I love it.
They're awesome. They're amazing. I literally was somewhere and they had a paper straw and they had a big plastic, cellophane plastic things over the top of it. And I'm thinking, what? Because plastic straws have paper covering. This was a paper straw that had a plastic covering.
Oh my God.
And I'm thinking, oh, come on, people. Really? Is there no common sense anywhere? I mean, plastic straws are probably the worst, the least. Look how much plastic's in a bottle.
Right.
And then they were saying today, they found 270,000 bits of microplastic per bottle. And I'm thinking, oh, crap. I got a lot of plastic in me.
You're going to live forever.
You have to drink 4 or 5 of these a day. Right? We're talking now billions of pieces of plastic in you per day.
Per day.
Nice. I don't necessarily believe any of it. So, okay. Well, that's it. Straws. That sucked too, didn't it? That trivia. It
sucks so great.
Yeah, I'll improve my trivia. This is the worst. So what was that now? What were you trying to sneak in there? You were trying to sneak something in.
No, that was the technical malfunction.
I love this straw picture. Just boonk. It just pops in there. Oh my God. Okay. We could do a dad joke if you want.
Let's do it.
Just one.
Have you heard of the new sport called quiet tennis? It's like normal tennis, but without the racket.
Okay, that's enough of the crap. That was good.
That was cute.
Yeah. See, that's where I get my humor from. Those guys.
Nice.
Quiet tennis. It's without the racket. Okay. Doug's clips, and then we're going to get Angie on.
Oh, cool. She's in the back room. We'll have her on right after your clip.
Okay. So clip 1, sound is fine.
Wait. Can we play the bumper?
The bumper?
Yeah,
we're having all sorts of malfunctions.
Right.
I just thought you'd sneak it in after I was done.
They're all
I thought maybe we'd wait till my Doug's clips were over, and then you would play that bumper.
I mean, I got to do something right tonight on accident.
Oh my God. Go ahead. All right. So this is about the James Webb finding light that's artificial It's picking up light on another planet that's artificial. So let's just play a little bit of this. Turn the volume up full blast so people can hear it. That's quite interesting. Now, before you play it, there's two types of light. There's 5,600 Kelvin, which is sunlight. Okay, it's exactly like from our sun's 5,600 Kelvin. Incandescent light was 3,200 Kelvin. Okay, and then LED lights, which who the hell knows what they are, but I would think they're they're closer to 5,600 Kelvin. So I'm not exactly sure what type of light they're seeing, but apparently it's going to be announced pretty soon. So go ahead and play it.
So the James Webb Telescope is apparently going to give some massive news this year. What is that news people are waiting for? Well, I think I might have it, and this will see whether I've got good enough sources. Supposedly, Proxima B has been observed by James Webb Telescope, which is 4 point some light years away this year. And it takes 63,000 years with our current technology to get there. They have found manufactured light on that planet. And that is apparently going to be one of the big news.
Big announcement. All right, that's enough. All right. Would you even care, Alex? Would you even take 2 seconds out of your day to read that article?
Of course.
And you're frozen again. And then sped up. That's kind of comical, actually. Your internet's comical. The way it slows you down and speeds you up to make up for the slowdown.
I mean, maybe that's what I'm doing.
It's like what was that movie? There was that movie like that with the green guy with The Mask.
Yeah.
Was it Jim Carrey?
Yeah, Jim Carrey.
Yeah, it was called The Mask. That's what
maybe
you reminded me.
You'll just say I'm masking.
Yeah, you're masking. There you go. All right. Clip 2. You can just hang on. Hang on, please. So here's the riddle. It's a riddle, and it's a good riddle. It's a great. And the riddle goes as follows: if there's 30 cows in a field and 28 chickens, how many didn't? That's the riddle. Does that make sense to you? There's 30 cows in a field and 28 chickens. How many didn't? Go ahead and play the clip. Volume up though, dude.
Cows in the field and 28 chickens. How many didn't?
What? Can you put it up, Alex?
Yeah, it's all the way up.
Listen, there are 30 cows in the field, 28 chickens. How many didn't?
What?
That doesn't make sense, Joe.
Oh, I think I got it.
What's the answer?
You want me to tell you the answer?
Yeah.
10?
Yes.
Yep, and she's right. But even when she knows the answer, it'll drive you crazy.
Okay, say it again.
There are 30 cows in the field
Right.
and 28 chickens.
Right.
How many didn't?
Think about what he said.
And you got that?
Think about what he said.
There were 30 cows in the field and 28 chickens. That's 58 altogether. So he's not saying, well, how many? There were 30 cows in the field and 28 chickens.
How many didn't?
It doesn't make sense. How do you get 10?
All right, that's enough of that crap. All right, I'll just tell you. So she answered 10, and that's right, because you're taking it too literally. If there's 30 cows in the field and 28 chickens, 20 cows ate the chickens.
Oh, 28
chickens. How many didn't eat chickens?
Oh.
It means. Right? So if I would have spelt it out, or they would have spelt it out.
28.
And spelt it A-T-E. But it's a good thing to drive people crazy at your next dinner party, okay?
I'm going to do that.
Yeah, it'll literally drive people crazy, especially if you give them the answer. Because then they're really like, what? Let's move on. Clip 3 is really interesting. I don't even know I'm literally supposed to say this task is being performed by professionals. Professional astronauts do not attempt. So you got to tell people don't try to do a spacewalk on their own. But go ahead and play clip 3. Sounds fine. Doesn't matter to me. Look at what's below. No explanation from NASA. No explanation from anybody. There's this thing. I don't know, is it space junk? It's a pretty big piece of space junk. Do you see it down there, Alex? It's not under your desk, Alex. It's not under your desk. Start the clip over because it only shows in the beginning. You see that thing there? What do you think it is? Alex was looking for it under his desk. You're muted, Alex. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay. Sorry, I bumped my mic.
Anyhow, all right, that's enough. That's all. I just wanted to show it. It's just weird. It's just like many of the NASA clips of spacewalks with weird crap in the background. You don't know what it is. They don't mention it. They don't talk about it. Nobody cares. It's probably space junk. But the hell, that's still a lot of crap just floating around out there.
Yeah, it's super weird.
It is weird. I don't know. I just wish somebody had a better damn answer than just space junk.
Right?
You know what I mean?
That's a convenient answer.
So people don't even mention it because they assume it's space junk. And it probably is. But still, do we have that much crap floating around up there?
It seems that we
probably
probably
know
don't.
we do. I mean, did you ever look at the map of the space junk up there? Oh, my God. It is scary. And they have to figure out these little windows to get stuff through. Okay, clip 4. This is a new UAP whistleblower. I've never heard of this guy. I'm somewhat in the know, but apparently he's got some testimony. Go ahead and play it. Sounds good.
Junior, the following testimony is true and inaccurate as it can be at this time to the best of my ability, and I am prepared to swear this testimony under oath before the Senate and Congress. I'm a former sergeant in the United States Army. I began active duty service in 1999, and I served until 2002. I was assigned to the U.S. Army Training Center W4J9 Alpha Alpha, Fort Irwin, California, located in the Mojave Desert inside Death Valley near the Barstow, California in 2000. I was assigned to Alpha Company Group.
He's nervous.
Live Fire Combat Engineer Division, Computer Support Systems, and basically for civilians, it's management for live fire operations. I acted as a hub between the operations group, intelligence planners, ground team, Air Force, and Star Wars programs.
Okay, all right, Alex, fast forward it now. Just kind of move it up because we don't.
Grays and blacks. I was seeing colors within my night vision goggles. This was not normal. And it was my assumption that perhaps this was a hologram being projected from the other craft. I can't confirm that. However, that was my assessment at the time. Observation deck from Raytheon. Noticed the night vision goggles I had. He went from chattering cheerfully. They were pretty relaxed. They'd seen these before. It wasn't abnormal to them.
Anyhow, all right, stop.
He looked at me with a very...
So my point of this isn't to give you information. That's not my point of this clip. My point is to tell you these whistleblowers are coming forward quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. That's my point. You can get into the weeds and, listen to his testimony. That's all cool. But basically, it's just the genie is big time out of the bottle.
So the pace at which the report
coming forward quicker and quicker and quicker. Yep. And they're only releasing and giving us info so we can absorb a little bit. They don't want 50 to come out at once because, they have 50 in the wings, trust me. And behind those 50 are another 100. Behind those 100 are 300. And they're just, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting year, people. But you can get into the weeds and go, well, I'm going to listen to this one. And pretty much it's just all a bunch of weird crap in the sky. You know? I mean, literally, that's the summary of the UAP mystery. It's a bunch of weird crap in the sky. You know, that'd make a good t-shirt, by the way. All right. Clip 5, last clip. This is just a really interesting fruit picking robot. It's just really weird. Go ahead and play it. Sounds fine. Picking oranges. I was lost at night, wandering around and saw this thing from a distance. I think I'd run the other direction. Isn't that weird? It's fun to watch. Right, Alex? Fun to watch? Can you even hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't hear you. But yeah, it's crazy.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I'm still, oh man, this thing is never going to. By the way, the doctor I talked to said, oh man, everybody's had this stuff for like 2 months. I'm like, are you kidding me? So what is it? You know what the best answer they gave me? There's literally thousands of viruses out there. That's what the doctor told me.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, that's really helps. But, you know, people worried I had water in my lungs. You know, water, blood, or whatever pneumonia is. So, but no, he said, you're fine. I'm like, okay, I don't sound fine, but if you say I'm fine, I'm good. Good to go. All right. So our guest is Angie, and better known as Snow White Bigfoot. Been around a long time. Has a YouTube channel. I kept having people wanting to meet her, look at her evidence and whatnot. And, you know, I'd caught some of her videos and I always found them really interesting. And so let's bring her on and we'll kind of get to some of the facts about, you know, what's going on. Let's bring her on. Angie, how are you?
Hello, Doug.
How are you?
I'm here. Doing all right.
Yeah. So, it's okay if we say you live in Ohio, obviously. I think everybody knows that. That follows you. You have a lot of followers, by the way, and you have, but it wasn't overnight. This has been going on for how many years total?
I started my channel in 2017.
Yeah.
So
the activity was before then.
Yeah, that was 2015 when that started.
Yeah, okay. So. But I'm just going to testify that she lives in a paradise. She lives in an area that's, you know, there's a lot of edges, but her land is amazing. It's a huge area. It's what, 300 acres?
Yes.
That's a lot of people can't even fathom how much that is. But that also butts up to other forest lands and creeks and streams. But you had mentioned you have even waterfalls on your property.
Yes.
How many people have waterfalls on in their yard, basically?
I know. It's awesome.
My camera crew came back and said she has ponds that are like azure blue. You know, more people think of a pond as being like a mucky, swampy, you know, and they're like, oh no, this is like amazing. So go ahead. From there, I think I've opened the door for you to tell us about your property. Let's start there.
Yeah, like you said, it's beautiful. I love it here. There's 2 good-sized ponds, and then we got a small one that it's kind of grown up now. But so there's 3 ponds. There's 2 waterfalls that are pretty good sized, and then we got 1 smaller one. 300 acres. The house sits pretty much in the center.
Okay.
And there's cows on the two sides, and then we got a back area where there's no cows. So we butt up against, well, actually it's like 2 miles from our house. There is a very large lake, and so there's lots of water, for the Bigfoots to, that's one of the things they need. So
yeah, but don't you have drinking water right on your property that you guys drink from, a water source?
Yeah. We have a spring. That's how we get our water.
Oh,
and we've actually heard vocalizations come from that area around where our spring is located, and I found some footprints and sticks stuck in the ground down there. So, yeah.
All right. So what I want to talk about first, okay, we have kind of an idea of your property. I mean, your gardens look like the Garden of Eden.
Thank you.
You have quite a green thumb. But what did you first notice? What was the first thing that you went, this ain't right?
Okay, well, see, I married Jim in 2007, in December. Moved in, kind of settled in over the winter. And then Jim got me a camera, which I've loved photography since I was young, like 13. I bought my first camera. And when spring came, I couldn't wait to get out and explore the property. So I took my camera and headed down into the woods, and I found a shelter. It's at least a structure, but it was big enough that my daughter and I both got in it and sat inside of it comfortably. So, I mean, it was large. It was made of just these huge, like trees, and I was following a duck trying to get a picture, and it made its way down into this bottom part below the pond on that side. And that's whenever I came upon the structure, and I thought, well, that thing is odd. So I took a picture, and then I went up and I showed my husband and I showed my son, Bo. And Bo said, well, that kind of looks like those things Bigfoot makes. And I said, yeah. So I started doing some research on the internet, and I found other structures that looked similar. So I started making the connections, and then I started doing a lot of research, like reading books and stuff like that to learn more, because I've always been interested in the subject, but I wanted to really start knowing what to look for, I guess.
But at this point, you haven't heard anything, you haven't seen anything, but you did find the structure, and it was weird.
Because I had only lived here a couple months, but Jim had lived here for about 14 years, and he had experienced things during that time, but he didn't really understand what it was. Right. But after I found that structure and we started talking about it, then he started bringing that stuff up, and we were, making the connections of what was going on. So him and his two boys experienced a lot of things before I even came along.
Oh, okay. By the way, Angie, would you mind if we're going to get a lot of questions tonight, that we just kind of throw them in out of order?
I don't care.
That's a problem. Yeah. Let's just have a free-for-all. Kevin Morrison asked, what is the attraction that encourages habitation on your property? And I want to give my opinion before Angie does and see if they're the same. I think it's this beautiful, clear, fresh water. Drinking water. I mean, if I had a choice of where I'm going to live or visit, am I going to visit someplace with a mucky, black, tarnished, duckweed pond, or am I going to go somewhere where the water's crystal clear? I mean, that's my answer. What's your answer, Angie?
Yeah, I agree with that. And also, there's just plenty of wildlife around, just not just on our property, but all around, for them to have food sources. And then there's, besides animals, like down at the lake, there are food sources down there, like the freshwater clams. I think because I've gone down there and I found footprints, and there would even be open shells in the footprints. And then not only that, but where I found trackways and stuff. And there would be a lot of lily pads. And I heard Dr. Esteban Sarmiento give a talk one time about things that they could eat. And he said lily pad roots would be a very good source of food. And that
cattail roots are full of sugar. I think you're thinking cattails.
No.
No, lily pads might be too. I've never eaten those, but every spring, even I harvest cattails.
Yeah,
and eat the roots. They're like a cross between an onion and a potato, and we fry them in butter, and they're delicious. But they're high in starch and sugars.
Yeah. Well, he did.
By the way, before we forget, I know we're going to forget if we don't answer it. Are there fish on the property in any of the streams or lakes or whatever?
Yes, there are in both ponds.
What type of fish? Do you know?
I believe there's bass. There was some crappie, muskie.
Oof.
Yeah, they're a great big carp.
Carp? Okay.
My husband's telling me something. Yeah, there's sunfish. Yeah, plenty of fish.
Okay. Any brook trout? Bigfoot, New York Todd asked if there was any brook trout, any trout.
I don't think so.
Don't think so. Okay. All right. Fine. Somebody else asked, it's a little off topic. Have you ever seen a Bigfoot swimming? That would be a miracle.
No. I would love to.
Yeah. Okay. So back on track. You have a lot of wildlife. You have fish. That sounds amazing. Are there caves on the property, Angie?
No, not that I know of.
No caves. No. Okay.
But there are mines. They did a lot of mining around our area and even underneath our property. So there could be like mine shafts or something that they could have access to. I don't know. I've wondered if that's possibly what they would use to go to shelter in the winter.
Yeah, that's interesting. Nothing like having mine shafts under your house, right, Alex?
Mine shafts.
Well, my husband actually worked for the mine that went under our property. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Kevin asked, Angie, has there been any slapping or knocking on your house walls, which is so common?
Yes, there's been quite a bit of that. And then they'll also throw rocks like onto the porch to get our attention. And they have done that several times. They'll throw a rock or they'll hit the house. And I think, I know they do it to get our attention to come outside, because I'll go out and there'll be some gift or something on the railing after that. Like this one time I had dolls that represent them and that represent me and Jim and a couple of the grandkids and our cats and everything. And they use these to role play, basically, like to communicate. That's a whole another story. But this one time, I heard rocks get thrown onto the front porch, like a handful of them. And I went out to investigate that. And then I walked out to the back porch, and there was a doll right beside the doll that represents me. And it looked just like it. It wasn't exactly like it, but it looked very similar. And it was like they were so excited to give me that doll that they just had to get my attention to get me out there so that I would see it.
Weren't you worried they want to eat you? throw a rock and you go out there? And did that ever cross your mind? Any fear? I mean, there's got to be some fear coming with some of these, house slaps.
Well, at first when things started, like before even the interactions started happening, like I smelled them down in the woods when I was down there by myself. Smelled like a gorilla.
Explain.
And I was down there just with my camera and mushroom hunting and stuff. And I was just having a good old time. And I was between two hills, and the hill to my left, I had this strong smell come off of the hill. And I thought, it just took me right back to the only other time I'd ever smelled anything like that was at the zoo. And there was a gorilla sleeping in a cage outside, and it smelled so bad.
How would you describe it? I've been to the gorilla house and the zoo, and I can't say I could really describe the smell. How would you describe it?
It was a really strong, sweaty animal BO. A little kind of musky a little bit, but just this really strong, sweaty BO, animal BO. Okay. And that smell, like the only two times I ever smelled it. Well, actually, I did smell it again later on our property at a place that I think I call it their bedding area, I think. Mm-hmm. So I walked into a certain area and it smelled like that again. So okay. I think they've been there. But yeah, so there's times I felt uncomfortable or a little creeped out, like the side of the house where the railing on the porch and then the garage, and then it goes, there's a little bit of yard, and then that's the brush and the wood starts. Okay. When I have to walk through there at night, I get a little creeped out.
Yeah, well, I would too. David Ellis asked, what mining, do you know what minerals they were mining there? Was it coal? Was it some other minerals? Gold?
Coal.
Silver?
What else did you say, Jim? Coal and limestone.
Coal and limestone.
And they just recently, within I think it was 2019, they were finishing up like an above ground mining just down the road from here. So
okay. And then somebody else had a really good. John Boatwright said, "Have you heard any whistling on the property?"
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Well, is that common, or is it?
Well, it used to be. Things have changed here. After what we think, the time that there was a death in the clan, we think it was the mama. Whenever after that, things kind of changed and they got less vocal. But before that, they did crazy vocalizations. And one of them was whistles, and like Jim and I were sitting on the front porch one night, and just around the edge, like we couldn't see, but like they must have been standing in that area I just described. It was between the garage and the brush. Just it's very human sounding whistle. It's like, oh geez.
Yeah.
It's just right there. And I've heard it, come out of the woods on this side. And
so you've heard responses to the whistling too.
I'm not sure about whistling, but I've heard like knocks and knock responses, like between them, and also they've responded like to us different ways, vocals and knocks and things like that.
I've got to ask a question for Chris Reinhardt.
Okay.
Who wants to know, have you ever heard a thunder knock? If you know what I mean, they're super loud, like, oh my God, knock.
Yes. I actually sent one to you, Doug. It's in my folder. stuff that
Oh,
it's just like it sounded like a gunshot. Like
okay, yeah.
it was bad. It was just loud, echoing.
Alrighty, yeah. And I do want to say that Angie's been so kind to submit many of the high quality photographs because she shoots in RAW of the fingerprints that have been appeared on glass, on the house, on windows, cars, windshields, right? And submitting this, and we're going to have we have a latent fingerprint expert. We'll analyze this evidence. So she's been very kind, and there's other evidence, physical evidence that she's submitted, including the skin oil. So we hope to be able to give her some answers. At some point pretty soon, and then y'all have to wait till the film comes out for you to know.
Pretty excited.
Yeah. So, do you think you can? You think if we gave you anything, you'd be able to keep it to yourself, Angie? I'm joking. If I gave you, I'm joking. Okay. What else? I'm just looking if anybody else got any crazy questions, and then we'll just keep having Angie tell her story. So you've at this point have smelled things, heard things, you found stick structures. Any other stick structures besides that one? And where was it in relationship? Was it near the water? The stick structure?
That structure, the first one that I found. Okay, there's the pond, and then there's like what do they call it? Runoff from the pond down into a creek. That creek ran right behind that structure. It was about 5 feet away. It was pretty deep creek, but it was right there.
So it was right by water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See,
yeah, I thought about that at the time. It was like, wow, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect spot. There was a question up about have they taken any more Jim's tools? I'd like to answer that.
Sure, yeah, please just dive in.
Yes, they have recently. Well, it's probably been a year. Within the last year, his good hammer is gone. He kept it hanging in the garage on a nail on the wall, and it's just gone. And it had a blue handle. Doug and I have talked about this blue.
Don't tell me this.
It had a blue handle. But
well, it was interesting. Let's tell that story about the blue rocks while we're talking. I just mentioned to her one day we were talking on the phone. I said, by the way, does blue mean anything to you? And she goes, yeah. And she starts sending me pictures of blue objects that they've left. And one was a very beautiful blue rock.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't know what it was. And anyhow, I looked at it, and I don't think it was very long. I was like, oh, that looks like slag glass from a steel mill. So I asked her, is there a steel mill near there? She said, yeah, about 10 miles away. So then we go to Google Map, and there's a creek that goes from the steel mill right to their property. And I thought, it's just so cool when things kind of, it doesn't prove anything, but it seems to fit to like a puzzle piece.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the longer these interactions go on, it's like you slowly learn, about them and their personalities and behaviors, and it just little things like that. It just all starts to come together, and that's kind of it's good to. That's why I document so much too, because I can look back on little things and then add them all together, and it starts to make sense,
Right.
Now.
You have to almost dig into the past. Things that didn't make sense then maybe start to connect the dots.
Yeah. That's what I would always say. I'm going to go ahead and document it. Might not make sense now, but later on it might make sense. Something might happen to make it make sense. So. And
Well,
that's actually a
have
lot.
you thought much about that slide glass, those beautiful blue?
Mm-hmm.
So what I mean, did that make sense to you that they may have found that on the railroad tracks? But the corridor from there to your place is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I was just blown away when they gave me two pieces at two separate times. So the first one was smaller, and then the second one was like 2-3 times bigger, and they're just so beautiful. I had no idea what it was. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is actually a beautiful blue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've had this theory about they like blue only because I keep finding blue objects in these pretty remote stick structures that I don't think there's people making it, because in many cases there's water there, 365 days a year. And I don't think kids are going to be, even if it's 6 inches deep, it just doesn't seem like the place kids or scouts or anybody would be making teepee structures. Plus, these things are all just like sticks taken from sometimes even a mile away. And they're all brought together and they make these teepees or, little, almost look like little forts. I think they're just deer blinds for just hunting. That's what I think.
I found plenty of those. And then I know a researcher in Kentucky, and he finds those on his property too.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, John Ayers, he is our very witty moderator. He said it's Blues Clues. Thank you, John, for that. Yes.
I got it. I want to show you something. You see this little cloth?
Yeah.
This has been a staple on my porch for years, and they have moved it and done things with it, but it is this color of blue. This is it. This is a little faded right now because it's so old, but it's that soft, powdery, like sky blue.
Is that a microfiber cloth by any chance?
Yes.
It's a kind that sticks to your
It's the kind between your glasses.
Yeah, microfiber.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I have not played with that stuff. But we've had some interesting things happen with blue gifts that we've left. And, once again, it doesn't prove anything. And I don't want people to think we know anything. We don't know nothing. It was just a theory. But if you, I just read a study on deer. Really interesting. I can't remember who sent it to me. Oh, I do remember who sent it to me. I just don't want to give their name yet. They sent me a study that deer, like if you wear camouflage clothing, they see it as blue, bright blue, because they have UV, like a UV type vision.
Okay.
They have different rods and cones. So, I just keep getting little more pieces of the puzzle on this. Why would they like blue? Well, it's probably something they see is pretty to them. They may see it as dark orange. We don't know.
Mm-hmm. There was something happened that told me that for sure they could at least see a difference in colors, because I put a Mancala game out on the railing and I put like a whole row on each side of the board of the colors. Like, there'd be blue, green. And then, so there was like one on each side of each color in a row. Well, I got up the next morning, looked, and they had taken them and they put the colors together, and then they would put them in one of the holes. So they like grouped them according to color and separated them.
Yeah, I've been hearing this too at different homesteads, not just you. So they seem to take and sort colors.
Yeah, they did that time for sure. Yeah, they have done that. Yeah.
Well,
very
Alex,
interesting.
You must have some. I keep hogging this guest. Alex, do you have any questions?
Yeah. Is there, if you were given like, let's say 10 grand for like a research grant, how would you spend that money on the property?
Good question.
Well,
she'd probably take a cruise around the world now.
Yeah, nice vacation. One thing that I've invested in with like not quite that much, but is a thermal imager. Because I started out with TK Scout, and it's okay. And I got footage with it, but at the time I just thought, oh geez, if I could have had something with better resolution. And so I did buy one, but it's not like the most expensive, the best kind. So it's more of a mid-level, price range and quality. It's a lot better than the TK Scout though. So I don't know. I think that could be a really beneficial thing to have, like a military grade thermal imager. And other than that, yeah, I don't know.
How about like a fiber optic camera system that's just the thickness of a thick hair that you could hide somewhere? Would that even be something that would interest you, or would you rather just not know? Because there are homeowners I talk to, and they're just like, nah, I don't even want to know. I know what they are. They're whatever. Every time I put anything out, they don't come around or whatever. So where do you stand on all that?
That's true. That's like the major question I get asked all the time is, why don't you put cameras out? If they're always up on your porch, then you should have pictures of them. Well, I've tried. I was trying to be sneaky. I thought I hit it really well and put it on looking out the window to the back porch railing, and the activity stopped. And I didn't learn my lesson that time, and I thought, okay. They started coming on the front porch, so I moved a cabinet that we had over here, and I moved it over to the window, cut a hole in it just big enough to put like the phone lens that could look out onto the porch, and then that was a motion activated camera that would send to my phone, if something happened, and it would send the pictures and everything. Well, activity stopped, and it took even after I took it down, it took at least 2-3 weeks for them to even come do anything again.
Yeah.
So
I've heard the same story before from other people. I mean, you're not the only one telling this story. It seems to match, but I don't understand it. How do you make sense of that?
Well, for one thing, I think they watch us like a hawk. They are so observant that they know what we're doing a lot of the time. They probably watched me put them up, or if that was
Angie,
huh?
Is it a feeling? Do you feel you're being watched? Is it you can hear them in the moving in the woods? Like where's the giveaway for you on that?
Well, I know that they watch us because, like, I'll do something. I'll rake up something. I'll clean up the yard or something, and say I pick up a bunch of sticks. Well, the next day I'll get up and there'll be sticks. They'll do something with sticks. It's like they show me that they have watched me do something they demonstrate it with doing something similar, or they'll take my sticks and rearrange them, so I know that they've been watching.
So it's like they interact with stuff you've recently touched, sort of thing, like they that they saw you messing with something, so that later they're curious. And
yeah, and like Jim and I were sitting on the back porch. This was just maybe in the last year or two, and we were discussing and admiring a white-breasted nuthatch bird, and they go up and down the tree, and they do it in a really weird way because they'll like be face down. They'll go down the tree like that. And they're just really cute. So we were talking about that and pointing to it and stuff. And then the next day, I get up, and right in front of the porch, or in front of the swing where we were sitting, is a drawing of a bird. And they did it with their hands. Like they took their fingers and did this, and there was a head and a beak and little legs and tail feathers and an eye. And I mean, that's a pretty big coincidence, don't you think? Or do you, or would you say they were observing us and demonstrated, showed us that they saw what we were talking about?
Super interesting. But by the way, I really want to compliment the people in chat. Some really great comments. I don't know if you can see some of the comments.
I've been seeing, I appreciate some of
they're
those.
super intelligent and super, very, very kind comments. Let's see here. Let's kind of jump. I like to jump around. I don't know. Yeah, I figure if we jump around, we're going to cover more territory.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm getting bogged down on something because there's so much with Angie.
I just want to say that I appreciate everybody that's asking the questions that came on, and I really appreciate that.
It says, how did you come to the conclusion maybe that somebody had died in this clan? Was a question from Jim Bodkin.
Okay, well, like I said, the dolls that I have out that represent them and represent us, I've had to change the dolls over the years. You know, I went to making some out of clay myself, making them look as much like what I think a Bigfoot would look like. So anyways, I had one for the mom and the dad and, you know, several children. Well, one day we go out there and the mama doll was turned face down on the railing. And that never happened before. And there was just a series of events that happened with that doll. Like I would try to leave it out, but they'd knock it off the railing. It would be face down. And they kept moving it. And at one point, they put it on an oak leaf, and they had put a rock that they brought beside her head, and it almost looked like some kind of a death memorial.
Like a burial almost.
Yeah.
Kind of like a burial, yeah.
It was really odd, but it was just the whole series of events of what they were doing with that doll told us that's what happened. Gotta get a drink.
Yeah. Do you often feel like I do? Do you often feel like this is kind of what makes sense, but do you always keep an open mind that you could be completely wrong?
Yeah.
That's one thing I was going to say. It's one thing I really wanted to compliment you on, Angie, because you are very grounded in this whole phenomena or mystery. You seem to be very grounded. You don't come up with crazy theories, and it's just very grounded. Calm and grounded is a great way to describe you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've always from the very beginning tried to eliminate that it could be something natural or an animal messing with something, I still do it. It's like, could my cat have just knocked that over? Or so if I don't know something, I say, I don't know. I'm not sure. I could be 50% or 99% sure. Or sometimes I'm positive that it was, a Bigfoot related.
Well, I can assure everybody that she is very, very grounded in this and that she wants answers. Versus just giving everybody answers. She wants answers. Is that
But like with the mama thing, I wanted to mention something else that not long before that incident with the dolls, we heard this really loud moaning. It was like a mournful, very upset sound. It would sound like a female voice from down in the woods on the east side. It was it's upsetting to even hear it now. So we don't know what that was about for sure, but it didn't sound good. And then not long after that, they turned the mama doll over face down, like, and then, like I said, it's in my videos. There's so detailed. It went on for like a month or two.
What's the most emotional moment you've had during the last umpteen years, where you really maybe even teared up or something? There's something that just kind of got to you, or some facts or something made sense, or I don't know. I'm just fishing, Angie, maybe.
Yeah, there's been several actually. There have been times that they'll bring a gift or they'll return something that they took, and they would vocalize at me, and like that, that's twice, and those have been really meaningful to me. So maybe I can. Give me to tell you a couple of those.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Okay. There are these cat toys. It's like a mouse with the strings that they're like two different colors all wound up around it, and then it has the bell tail.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they took one of those one time, and I went out before I went to work to check the railing like I always do, and there it was sitting on the corner of the porch. They had taken, I think it was like a blue and yellow one, and they'd taken I think it was the yellow string, like they unraveled it, took it all off. Well, they had taken that string and they left it in this neat little pile on the corner of the railing with the mouse on top of it. So I go in to get my camera to document it, take a picture, and when I went back out to do it, they vocalized at me from right down here in the field, and they did it a couple times, and it was like they were telling me something. We thought maybe it was like, oh, I'm sorry, I broke your toy or whatever. But they did communicate with me at that point. And then if you go fast forward probably a couple months, same circumstance. I went out, I found a what I call a bouncy ball, the kind you get out of those machines, multicolored,
Oh, the super ball, little super balls. Yeah.
So I go out there and I see it, and I went to pick it up, and I heard over my shoulder from the woods behind me a vocalization as I went to pick it up. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. So I took the ball around the house and I went over here to the edge of the yard closer to where the vocalization came from. And I started talking to him, and I said, hey, this is awesome. I love it. It's beautiful. And, I held it up to my heart, and I was just talking, and they vocalized at me again, the same woo that they'd done back at the porch. And then I kept talking to him again, said it, the same things, and it happened again.
Wow.
So to me, that felt like they were doing an actual direct.
And was the vocalization friendly also?
It was. It was really like a soft, just woo.
Almost like a song.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Wow.
And there was one time this was way back at the beginning of stuff. I was standing at the kitchen window. It was open, of course. It must have been summer. And I just heard the softest little woo outside the window. It was just so sweet sounding. And yeah, that kind of reminds me of that.
Okay, Patrick is Noble is giving some really great questions. He's firing them off pretty quick.
Okay.
Paul Guffey asked a question. Paul's a good friend of mine. He asked a question. Have you ever been gifted like food or a fish or anything?
not fish, but I've been gifted food stuff a lot. They've given
Okay.
me walnuts several times. They've given me with the husk and without the husk.
I was just going to ask that. Okay.
Yeah. Gosh, they brought crab apples from the tree, put them in the food basket where I give them food.
And I'm sure you just ate those right away, right on the spot.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yum, 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 yum.
They've brought from the Osage orange. What are those?
Monkey ball.
Well, Jim calls them monkey balls. What the heck are the
What? You lost me. Monkey balls? What?
Hedge apples. There you
go.
go.
Hedge apple. Sure. I actually had those on our show here a few weeks back. We talked about hedge apples. And aren't they also, there's thorns on the hedge apple vines or whatever? Aren't there some thorns on those things?
I know that they've used them as fence rows.
Yeah, fence rows. Yeah, they would use them as fences. Early fences before they invented barbed wire. Yeah.
Yeah, we went down to the lake, and there's like in the woods there, and there's a lot of activity, Bigfoot activity in those areas. There's hedgerows like that, old hedgerows with those trees. I guess is what they are.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Okay, well, let's do some rapid fire stuff here. So let's give Patrick. He's coming up with some good one. Bigfoot. Okay, Paul Guffey and Patrick. Let's see. One of the questions is, have you found any bedding areas from Paul? And then the second question, have you seen any orbs on your property? And do you connect orbs with these things? So let's give one for Paul and one for Patrick. So
okay, let's go with that orbs one first.
Yeah, the orbs, Patrick.
I haven't seen any orbs.
Okay.
One time we saw down in the woods by the barn some kind of a very, very large ambient, like a soft glowing light that we couldn't figure out. I even got in the car and drove all the way around the property to see if I could see somebody down in there doing it, but we never could figure
source,
that out. Yeah.
Wow.
That's about it for that.
Okay.
What was the other question?
It was on bedding areas. Paul Guffey wanted to know, have you ever found an area you suspected they were laying down or taking a snooze in or, piled up or woven, branches? Anything?
Yes. At the top of our driveway, if you go back in the cow field, right at the corner of our property, like right at the fence line, go back in there. People hardly ever go there. And I walked back in there, and there was branches all over the place, like in piles. And then there was this one tree. I forget what they're called. It's a certain type of tree that they kind of grow over like this. But if you go inside of it, there was almost like there were two rooms.
Like a tunnel
and it was there, like in between, it was woven. You could see that there were sticks woven, and even on the outside it was woven. But that's where I walked in, and I smelled that gorilla smell again, that musky.
Yeah.
So I think they'd been in there not long before that.
That's interesting.
But also, we went to another lake it's a little further away, backwaters to this lake. And there was a massive pressed down area. I mean, you could just tell it was too big for just a deer or anything. And there were sticks laying, it looked just like a bedding area. I'm sure that's what it was. And all in that area, there were just arches and asterisks, and I want to go back there. We've never been able to get back to that spot, but I want to go back so bad. But if you look in my videos, I think it's something about exploring at a new lake. If you go way back, you'll find that you'll be able to see the bedding and stuff. It was really cool.
Yeah, have you ever looked at Shane Corson's discovered nests that they found in the Olympic project?
I've heard about him, but I don't think I've seen the pictures.
You probably need to look at those. I would take a look at them.
Yeah.
They're really interesting, super interesting. And they've been studied by zookeepers and biologists and primatologists. And everybody's been amazed by them.
Were they the ones that were kind of like large and they were built up around the edges?
Yes, just around the edges, correct, yeah.
Yeah.
In a very remote, hard to get to area.
Yeah.
Yeah, super interesting when things like that happen. Let's look here. Patrick wanted to know whether you've ever experienced any mind speak. I think I know the answer is no, but
no. Although sometimes I'll be like, I'll think something, and then it's like, how did they know? Something will happen, It's like I'll be thinking about it and then something will happen. But I've never had anything like mind, like hearing mind speak or anything like that.
Yeah. I'm going to keep perusing here. Great. Try to put your questions in caps. It's just a little easier for us to catch them. Let's see here. Yeah, I could see that would be pretty touching if you picked up something you thought that was a gift and you heard cooing or like a songy moaning or, vocalizations.
Yeah.
That would be pretty, obviously could be a coincidence, the timing, but it happened more than once, correct?
Yeah, that's the thing. If it was a one-time thing, then that could be a coincidence. But like I said, it happened to one time they brought something back and then another time and then it repeated 3 more times.
Yeah.
How could that be a coincidence?
Another question is about the garage, and I even have questions. Is the garage, you have a garage, you've had apparently activity in the garage.
Mm-hmm.
Is the garage have a door that, lifts, or is it an open, a lot of people have open garages. There's no door on the garage and it's just more of a shelter.
No,
what's yours like and how are they getting in?
It's closed. If you close all the doors, it's a closed-in garage. There's the one that lifts at the front. Right beside it is a door that we don't use very often. And then on the other side of the garage to the back porch is a door that goes out, and it has a glass window. So, especially back when this was all starting, we would just leave things open, not even thinking about it,
So, okay, so you just leave the doors open.
Yeah.
If I had 300 acres, I wouldn't lock anything. I mean, it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't think about it.
And when our boys lived here, Jim would lose his tools then, and he'd blame the boys for losing his tools. Well, we don't know. It could have been Bigfoots coming and taking them too at that point.
Right. But then these things would come back months later. Sometimes.
Yeah. Most of the time, if they took something, they would bring it back. But like that hammer that we were talking about, with the blue handle, that's gone.
Yeah.
That's never come back.
Oh, and how long is okay. But see, if they're gonna not bring something back, I would think in my mind might be blue.
It was
definitely that, and it was
that shade of blue too.
It follows my diarrhea theory, which is just it's brain diarrhea. I don't know if it's true, but I keep seeing evidence for it. The blue. Oh, and we sent you recently. Did you get the plexiglass that we
Yeah.
sent you some sheets. And wasn't there some a blue one or one blue one in there?
There's 2 blue and a black. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you did. And what did you think about the color blue that was sent to you?
It was a little bit darker than the one that I.
Oh, okay.
But they have like the game pieces that I put out, like with the Mancala game, that has dark and light blue, and they've messed with those dark blue ones too. So.
Well, let me explain what we sent you. So we sent her sheets. They're probably a foot by a foot square sheets of very high gloss plexiglass with some Velcro, with the barbed side in one corner, a little piece of it. And the idea is maybe they'll get curious of the shine, the glossiness, like they do car windows and grill covers and all these things. And maybe they'll want to feel it, just because I think they're very tactile. And maybe they'll touch it and leave fingerprints and maybe snag a hair or two on the Velcro. That's the plan. Did you ever get those out, Angie?
Not yet, because our weather has just been nonstop rain.
Well, good weather is coming.
Yes, I can't wait.
It is coming from us. It's going to be there probably in 2 days. It's going to be beautiful there. So hopefully you can get them out.
I'm itching to get down in the woods.
Yeah.
Not just to look around.
Obviously, the goal is not to have them take the damn thing, because if they take it and don't give it back, that doesn't do us any good. Although it does add a little interest. If she puts a piece of blue plexiglass in the woods where no one would ever find it, and she goes back to collect it and it's gone, that just goes, well, maybe they do like blue. It adds that, but we're looking for the fingerprints. That's what we're trying to get. And she has collected probably more than any person on Earth. Angie has, and then photographed them. Do you want to get into that? Let's talk about fingerprints and your amazing photography.
Yeah, there's been so many handprints. I'd say I found more handprints here than footprints, although I have found a lot of footprints too. But especially because when they touch the glass, it just leaves a beautiful, thick print that's, just great if you can get macro like I do. I get really close and take good professional type pictures. Then you can see the details down to dermal ridges and even the pores in the dermal ridges, like the sweat pores.
Yep.
And you can see hairs coming out of the hair follicles and things like that.
Do we have a photo we could throw up, Alex? I don't know. I guess I was going to call you today. I was gone out of town. I was going to call you and say, make sure you get a few things lined up that we can share.
I don't have anything, but
well, you do in the Google. There's a Google Drive folder that we're sharing. That's full of stuff. But then you'd have to pick out something, and it probably wouldn't be one that Angie wanted to show.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'd grab the wrong thing, and you'd be like, "No, not that one,
not that one." Damn it! What are you thinking, Alex? No, actually, if you can look while we're talking. You can look. Go to the Google Drive share folder. I think it's labeled fingerprint. What's it labeled, Angie?
Handprint files. Yeah. And then I got it broken down by
through there and actually put one up that looks cool, or even a close-up of one of her photos that shows sweat pores, and there's some that are really amazing. The latent details.
I could give him a year if I can.
Oh, there you go.
Have a second here.
And the handprints aren't just coming from her. We're going to, for Elijah Meets Science, they'll be examined from all over the country. But she's got probably the most amount ever from a single location, because she was smart enough many years ago to take raw photos, with a very good quality camera. And so hers are very high information.
2021 was the best year, I think, for.
Oh, okay.
So was that like fingerprints 2021?
Yeah, and then it will say car prints, I think.
Yeah.
It was.
Paul Guffey asks Angie, has anything ever tried to enter your house? Please say no.
I can't.
Any of these things ever tried to enter your house? Please say no.
I have had, yes, at least a few incidents where I think that they were either in the house or they were trying to come in.
All right, I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Goodbye.
One night I was in bed and I woke up and I heard somebody walking in the house out here, and I looked over to see, I thought it was Jim, and I looked over and he was laying beside me in the bed, and I was too afraid to get up and look. But the next morning I go out and the doors to the garage and stuff were unlocked, so they definitely could have come in. And one time Jim was standing, this wasn't very long ago either, like a couple within the last year or two, he was standing in the doorway between the kitchen and the dining room, and he heard the door that goes from our house to the garage close really hard, and there's nobody here, so we're pretty sure that there was a Bigfoot opened and closed our door.
All right, so here we go. Good choice, Alex.
Yeah,
great choice. So if you notice, the glass isn't really dirty or dusty. This is definitely a compound, is what you would call a surface skin lipid, an SSL or sebum. And Shelley Covington was kind enough to name this for us, and she named it Sasquatch alba vernix. And every ape has already been chemically analyzed because they all have including humans, have a unique sebum signature. Some have, like humans, have cholesterol in our sebum. Everything we touch, we're leaving cholesterol. Gorillas don't. Some have certain triglycerides, other ones don't. The other ones have certain types of waxes. I mean, it's very complicated. Sebum is an amazing, complicated compound. It's not just what people think. It's just some, simple one molecule substance. It's very complex. And we have all of the other apes done. And so if we can figure out a way to collect these type of prints, you have 3D evidence. I tell people it's 3D. 1, you're going to have DNA, skin cells sloughed off. 2, you're going to have certain chemicals in it that may not match human, chimps, gorillas, orangs, or any other primate. And the other thing is you have the latent details. So this shows these amazing latent details. Skin creases, the friction ridges. You can't fake this stuff. Nobody can ever say, oh, gee, Angie faked that print. It could be a human that touched it, but no one faked it. They didn't draw it.
Does that look like a human? Does that look like a human palm print to you?
Well, no. Well, the color. Well, one, I don't think any humans have grayish white sebum. They just don't.
Right. And
so
many times
go ahead, Angie. Sorry.
Well, so many times when I found these, I go through that whole process. Did I touch it? Jim, did you touch it? Was somebody here that could have touched it and all that? But then when I go and put my hand, try to make a handprint beside it, it's just barely visible.
Right.
And these Sasquatch handprints are so much thicker than what a human leaves that it's.
Yeah, you're talking about it's waxier, it's thicker.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, humans is very clear. I mean, go in your bathroom mirror and touch it. You're going to leave, maybe you can see a little oil there, but it's not going to be white and waxy.
Right. Yeah.
But doesn't it make sense, Angie, that they would have a more waxy skin oil because they're living in the wild? They need to also grip things, but they need protection from the sun, the cold, the wind, the rain to keep their skin supple. So there you go. It makes sense.
Yep.
But so you have also collected the actual oil too, correct? At least in some of the later cases.
Yeah, actually, one of the more recent ones that was January of 23, I think. Whenever we heard something banging on Jim's work van right out here, and we found a handprint, and it was like it hit it with the back of its hand, and even that left thick residue so much that Jim, even before he realized what it was, power washed the van, and it was still good enough to get detail.
Exactly. Yeah, the stuff doesn't come off.
Yeah.
And I've heard this. I've also heard this from zookeepers that have gorillas. They can't clean the windows. There's something in even gorillas that are like, what the heck is this stuff? Windex doesn't even cut it. Soap doesn't cut it. So,
well, when I got the sample, I had to take a Q-tip and just rub. And it took some pressure to get
it just
off.
kind of smears. It just keeps smearing and smearing.
Yeah.
And we have face prints. We have, oh my God, we have so much stuff. I'm not going to promise anybody any answers, but man, we're going to try. We're working with some amazing experts and scientists, and we really hope that we can get something. Todd had mentioned, Todd Smith, they said the prints also harden over time, and he is exactly right. I have never talked to him about that, but I have also observed that. And then you sent a print, Angie, that was really weird the other day because it started doing what? It started to crystallize.
Yeah, that was the very first print that was like a really good one. Yeah. It had like the ends of the fingers came up.
Yeah.
Like an extension, and it was like something filled that gap. Like, for on a human, it would be the fingernail, but whatever, it would attach to this fleshy part. And then around in there was some kind of weird crystal looking residue. And then, you could also see whorls and things like that, but it's definitely looked like crystals.
Do you mind if we throw up another one? We even have the crystallized one. And we've been digging into that, and apparently saliva will crystallize, tears will crystallize, snot will crystallize. There are some things that will crystallize, but do you want to throw up one more, Alex? It's just kind of interesting that you find interesting. Do you mind, Angie?
No.
Okay.
And what was interesting about that print too is that it, the one with the crystallized stuff, is that after a couple days it started.
Not these, Alex. Can you throw up something new?
Yeah.
Same one.
There's the one with the whole arm in the hand. You can find that.
Oh yeah. Those are interesting too, because she's gotten photos of what looks like a whole arm print.
There is even the bottom of a foot.
Yeah.
Now these are infants. The size is really small. That would be August of 2021, Alex.
Are you talking about something like this?
Yes.
Yeah, it is just absolutely really, really. I mean, look at the details.
I know, it's insane.
And you got to remember, it isn't just Angie. These are coming from all over the country. And people that camp out and go, we found something really weird on our windshield.
These are so
and
detailed.
We heard something walking around our camp at night. Thanks, Alex. There's one. Yeah, I don't even want to show the crystallized ones. It's amazing. And wasn't it like 51 degrees when that was? Those crystals have nothing to do with ice, correct?
No, it was March 30th whenever it left it, so it wasn't like super cold or hot. So I know whenever they started to dissolve a little bit and it turned to liquid, I thought about the weather conditions and I didn't think it was hot enough to cause that.
So one of the weird things about prints is what do you think they're touching this stuff for, and why would they be willing to leave you such a print? I mean, what are your thoughts?
I think it was just circumstances. Okay. I mean, I don't think they leave them on purpose for me. I think that, like the ones that were all over the car, I think there was either another, like an older sibling, or perhaps the mom, I don't know, carrying. I mean, this was a really small infant, and it was just leaning and touching the car. Its forearm, it had its bottom of its foot on the window, just completely detailed picture of a foot.
Have you found prints when the car, David Ellis asked, have you found prints that happened while the car was in the garage, or was this parked outside?
It's always been in the garage, yes.
Oh, okay.
Like they were in there and I think the day that all those prints, the excellent, the whole arm and all that, I believe they took something and then brought it back too.
And how do you know, Angie, that nobody's hoaxing you? That there's not
that's a good
cousin
question,
or a neighbor or somebody that's sneaking over and doing this.
Well, because for one thing, things happen while nobody's here but me.
Yeah.
And if somebody comes down, our driveway's like 1/8 of a mile long, and if somebody comes, it.
See their lights and
I mean, if somebody wanted to come down here at night or something, I suppose they could, but I mean, how likely is that? But things happen, like they'll do something on the front porch. I'll see something that they've done. Like they went through this thing where I have my chairs on the front porch. They were angled. Mm-hmm. Well, they come to straighten just my chair, the one that I would sit in. They'd straighten it. Well, one of the times that they were up on the porch, there was this really nice footprint that was a Bigfoot. You could tell, had the splayed toes, the big old bulbous big toe, and
Oh, by the way, I was going to mention, apparently you guys have like a gravel driveway, right?
Yeah.
It gets dusty when you drive on it. It kicks up dust, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And that dust will settle in your garage, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, it just gets in there, and you're always having to clean stuff, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like your grill gets dusty because you were just talking to me. Oh, I got to clean it because we're going to use it. And they've even touched the grill, also stainless steel grill, correct?
I've gotten several prints, yes, on the grill.
Wow. Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
And like I said, I found footprints, lots of footprints in the yard too. It's not just handprints.
Yeah, and this is, by the way, eastern Ohio. It's not terribly far from Salt Fork. It's a wildernessy area. It's not like you think of, a lot of city. I mean, there's really nothing. I was surprised. My film crew came back and said, God, there's nothing there. There's nothing. They couldn't. No gas stations. There's nothing. They couldn't get fast food anywhere, and they're just coming from a convenience standpoint. Apparently, Angie, you live in a very inconvenient area. Just so I tell you.
Well, we live about 10 minutes to the nearest town. It's a smallish town. There are convenience stores and stuff, but to get groceries and stuff, we have to drive about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And our closest neighbor is, our driveway is about 1/8 of a mile, and then you got to go down the road just a little bit, and it's a really old couple. And then you go down the road a little bit further, and there's an even older guy that lives down there.
Yeah.
So, I didn't tell people, even my family, I didn't tell my children what was going on for a long time because I didn't want anybody messing with me. I wanted to eliminate that. So, they did eventually figure it out, and then I told them, but there's just been like I said, things happen, or they bring things and put it with something they associate, like bring me a little toy car, put it with the car that's there, and it's just.
Do you think it's maybe one individual in a clan of these that's, more friendly, and it's just one individual, or is it? Have you seen like one of them get bigger or grow up?
Oh yeah.
As time has gone by.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on this? Do you think it's all of them interacting with you, or just maybe one individual? That's the question.
I don't think it's just one, but I think there may be one or two that come more.
Like maybe a brother and a sister, or
like when it first started, I would find 9-inch prints and 13.5-inch prints in the yard and around the porch a lot. Then, when a little bit of time would go by and I found 10-inch prints, and, so I have seen, it seems like some grow, but if you want to go by the size of the prints I found in the yard, there's been all the way from 18.5-inch down to 4-inch. And if you count the print, that little print on the car window, that was what, 2 inches long, and that was a really new one. So I know I've seen 12-inch, I've seen 17-inch. There's been a variety of clan members up here. So
it's interesting. And by the way, if I have a little Alex doll made, can I ship that to you and you can put that on your jacket?
No.
Sure.
And I'll also send a little Vladimir.
That one too with the hair.
Yeah, I'll send a little bald Vladimir one too. All right.
Right.
I know you and Vladimir got along. He's so we'll send an Alex and a Vladimir doll down there and see what happens.
Yeah.
Probably just pop your head off, Alex. That'll be the end of it. Anyhow. Okay, sorry. I couldn't resist.
What did Ed Fenny say?
Yes. Oh, he had a really good question. I was going to ask it, and I was like, don't forget to ask Ed's question. Oh, no, it's suddenly gone. What
Are the neighbors seeing anything?
Oh, yeah, the neighbors. Super cool question.
I've nenever talked to them about it. And one reason why is because I don't want them to know. I mean, I don't want to worry about them. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's a tough one because
the more you got to worry about people messing with you. But,
I've had that same situation even with Yvette took a really amazing photo of a UFO over our neighbor's house. I mean, the thing's rad. It's just really amazing. And it's low right over the roof. And there they were. We were chatting with these neighbors, and I'm thinking, do I show them this picture? Do I show them this picture? Are they going to think we're nuts? So we show them the picture. It's amazing, this photo. And we really got no reaction from them. Like none. Like they didn't say, could we have a copy of that? Or it was just kind of awkward, I guess.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it can be
it's
awkward
hard to know how to approach.
So God
that.
knows what they said after we left. That's what I worry about. What did they say behind our back after we left?
Yeah.
You know?
I do have to say though that there, like back around 2012, there was a lot going on around the community. There was even something on the front page of the paper, our local paper. So I haven't talked to my close neighbors or anything, but I've heard stories. My oldest stepson is a sheriff's deputy, and he told me about reports that they got at the time of things going on. And one of them was just down over the hill from our house. A businessman came home late at night, and it was like 1:00 in the morning, and he heard something screaming and sounded like it was killing a cow. It was a neighbor's cow. So he called the sheriff's department, and he said, I heard this huge vocalization and something's killing a cow, and I think it's a Bigfoot. So my stepson was one of the two that went to investigate, and they went in following the sounds into the wood. They heard it too. They heard the sound like somebody was dragging the cow off, killing it. And they get into the woods. It's pitch dark. They've got their guns drawn because they're a little leery of what's going on. And they heard a huge. Tony explained it like a woman screaming, like a death scream or something, combined with a roar. I don't know. He said it was the worst thing he's ever heard. So yeah, there's been lots of stuff going on around me too.
Oh, by the way, Grasshopper asks, who is Vladimir? Vladimir is part of our film crew. Vladimir was also part of Legend Meets Science 1 film crew. So that's who Vladimir is, in case you know. And Angie got to know him because they spent 2 solid long days with Angie.
Yeah.
So that's
they got to be family.
Pardon?
Said they got to be family.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Apparently they all got along good and had fun. Vladimir likes to crack a joke now and then. And it was funny too because I said, Vlad, don't be cracking jokes with Angie. So I'm sure the first thing he did when he came in was start cracking jokes.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure he did. I know it.
Yeah.
I just got a text that said from my friend Jeff. He said, really good guest tonight. So there you go.
Thank you.
Have you heard of any cattle being lost? Like just neighbors complaining, and you just keeping your mouth shut, like we've lost, calves, or they've had any mutilations or anything missing in cows?
Well, like the one I just told you about, that there was that incident. Now here,
but did they find a dead cow?
I don't know. After that,
Okay.
I didn't hear anymore. There's cows on our property, and sometimes they'll just, like, one died not too long ago, and it seemed like a pretty healthy one.
Mm-hmm.
Like what happened to it. I'm not real close with the farmer that leases the land, so sometimes I get to talk to him, but I don't know what happened to there. And one time we found one, it looked like it just kind of got pushed over the cliff.
A cow?
Yeah.
Got pushed over a cliff. Okay, good night, everybody. Kevin Morrison says, has there been any dogs missing?
No.
Okay.
We have had cats. We don't really have dogs. We haven't
So
in several years,
yeah,
but we
okay.
have had cats go missing outside. Several
Cats
cats.
have gone missing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any horses on the property?
No.
Paul Guffey
There's
asks.
some down the road that way and also down the road that
Okay.
way, though.
Okay. And then somebody said, I hope Doug already took the garbage out. And yes, Yvette took it out. And I put in there, I texted her, I said, you're my hero. So Yvette took the garbage out tonight. So it's all good. See, I'm all brave now. I'm all brave. What have you had any, besides the smell and being creeped out, have you had anything that made your heart stop? You know, because of a huge bang on the house or a huge rock hitting near you? Or has there been any of those that kind of made your heart kind of pound a little bit or stop?
Yeah. All right. This was way back. This was like on the same week. I'd gone to the restroom. Of course, I missed this whole episode, but Jim and his son were sitting in the living room. The windows, doors were open, and they heard a roar, like a T-Rex or something, over in the field, and then coyotes running. And then that same week, my daughter, her room faces the woods. She had her window open. Comes, wakes me up at 1:00 in the morning. She said, Mom, you got to come hear this. She said, sounds like something huge is crashing through the woods. And
Are you picking up on this, Alex? At first a T-Rex, and then the coyotes and the brush wolves are running. So you're picking up on this. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So she heard something huge crashing through the woods. And then she said it sounded like a monkey was being strangled. I was like, geez, I got to get. So I got up and I went to her window and I was there and I listened and it all stopped. As soon as I got over there, it stopped. So the next day.
Did you hear that, Alex? It ends with a monkey being strangled. Would you like to go stay with Angie for a week? They're going to go on vacation. You can house it.
So thank you. The next day, what do? I think, well, I need to go down in the woods and see what was going on. So I go into the woods where that was all going on. And actually that I found all kinds of like a big, huge X and all kinds of crazy stick stuff going on there. But I didn't see anything. So I kept walking. I walked all the way down into the pond. It was a beautiful day. And I was just down there taking some pictures. And up there where all that commotion had been the night before, I heard this tree go just crash.
Yes. So okay, that tops it off.
That was a stomach churner.
See, Alex, this is what you can do. She wants you to babysit the house.
No.
This is how this is. Yeah.
I got to tell you, something happened to my son. He came here to go down in the woods and look for mushrooms. Well, he wasn't gone real long, and he came back and he goes, I am not going down there by myself anymore, because on my way down behind me, I heard something growl at me. And I was like, oh gosh. Well, he continued down to the bottom. I guess he looked around, didn't find anything, started back out. And as he was coming back up, a huge rock got thrown through the trees. It didn't like hit him or nothing, but it was enough to make him go, ugh. So, yeah.
Sandman asks if you have any morel mushrooms on your property.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely. So
one of my favorite things to go do is look for mushrooms.
You like to eat them, I take it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. And I don't know why he asked that. I would imagine that if they, Bigfoots would probably eat them, I would think. I mean, it's kind of a lucky guess.
Yeah, that's another food source, of course.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
what is the laundry list of animals? I know you have deer, you have turkeys, wild turkeys, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have pheasants and grouse? Is that something that?
Yes, both. I've heard both.
Do you
I've seen
have,
the pheasant, heard a
coyotes?
grouse.
You have Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yes. Crossed
You
with
have,
an elephant.
yes, strangled monkeys. Jeez. So it sounds like you probably have bear there, I would imagine, but probably rare to be seen.
Extremely rare, yeah.
Yeah.
There's like my husband saw one once, and I think his dad saw one once.
Yeah.
And then there was like one wandering around the area, not here, but about, I don't know, 10 miles away. But they're very rare. But I mean, we have foxes. We have, I even saw fisher cat walk. I was just sitting on the back porch, and there it went.
Yeah, they're a member of the mink family, yeah.
Which I think they're making a comeback. They went kind of not extinct, but
yeah, they're like pine martens or whatever. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, you name it. We got rabbits, squirrels, chipmunks.
How about any wild boar?
No, we don't have those.
No wild. You will eventually. You will eventually. Okay. There was something else. Oh, have you ever fed them? Have you ever tried the gifting with the food? Mm-hmm. And did you stop, or did you ever do that, or never did it?
At first, I did it more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This one time, I made homemade pudding, vanilla pudding. And I put it out on the railing, and it was gone. You know, they took the whole thing.
The bowl, everything?
The bowl and everything, yeah.
Okay.
And
was it blue?
No, it's clear. But I found that bowl after months. I was walking, and I found it way back around the hill by the fence line. So I don't know if they took it back there and ate it. But yeah, it was.
But do you leave food? Do you leave food occasionally?
Yeah, I used to put it just on the railing and stuff, and it was hard to tell if like a raccoon or a possum or something was getting at it. So I worked out a way I finally figured out how to do it so I could tell, is to hang a basket from the spouting on the garage. It's high enough that a raccoon can't reach it. Like nothing can get it except something tall enough to get in the basket. So that worked, and they would take things out of it.
Have you tried peanut butter? Even Kevin mentioned it, and we've done this many times. Peanut butter, you unscrew it, take the foil, or you can just leave it, put the whole damn thing with the jar tightened, everything, and they'll take the unscrew. I think Tobe just had a thing he just posted. Unscrews the jar, peels the foil off, and sticks 2 big fingers in there and scoops out and then puts the lid back on. Raccoons won't put a lid back on.
Right. I've had that happen.
With peanut butter.
Yeah. And I put a jar of peanut butter out, and I had a spot that I was gifting on. I called it the gifting board. I think I put it there. I got up the next morning, had to go to work, and it was I couldn't find it. And it was laying over in the flowers that are beside the gifting board. And when I looked closer, the lid was off, and part like that seal, the shiny seal that's on top, was pulled back, and there was a stick stuck into the peanut butter, like they were using it.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Man, the questions are coming in. There's like, we're gonna end it because I have to get up. You don't even want to know what time I got to get up tomorrow. It's like 4 in the morning, and I have to get up really early. by the time I eat and shuffle off to bed, it's going to get late. But by the way, Yvette took the garbage out when it was daylight out. She did not do it in the dark. Just so y'all know.
People were calling
She's
her
not
brave.
braver than me. I'm way braver than Yvette. Like 10 times. Anyhow, you guys were awesome. Angie, you were awesome.
Well,
thank you so much. We'll get you on for part 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're willing to come back.
Thank you. Yeah.
We had a handprint. I was talking about all those little juvenile handprints.
Yes.
But we had a gigantic handprint on our garbage can too. It was 11 inches in length.
Do you have photos of that?
Yes.
Do I have that?
Yes, you do.
I do. Okay, I'm going to look for that specifically tomorrow. Yeah, because I really want to get that to the forensic person if there's something really oversized.
Yeah, it was big.
Be very interesting. So we'll have to talk about that to make sure I have that photo and I can get that passed on to him and point it out to him. But anyhow, you guys were awesome in chat. I mean, some great questions. I really feel bad that we had a few technical little glitches again. We're going to get them straightened out, right, Alex?
Yeah. I have a few ideas.
He's got some ideas. Yeah, we're going to buy a roll of tinfoil. That'll work. Anyhow, good night, everybody. And let's see here. I would like to leave you maybe with a quote. And that's basically, do not measure your life by the number of breaths you take, but by rather the small but very important moments that take your breath away. Better way to measure your life. Good night, everybody. We love you all. Good night, Angie. Good night, Alex.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
How do trees access the internet? They log in. I call you up in the middle of the night. Been bothered by dreams, ain't feeling alright. You give me comfort, say just give it some time. By the end of our talk, I'm feeling just fine. You and I will always know where we belong. This ain't no ordinary love we got going on. I'll pick you up in my 59 Ford. We head on down the road until we get bored. Just you and me and the sun and the wind. If the rain should start falling, we'll head home again. Everybody else can see where we belong. Oh, ain't no ordinary love we got going on. At the end of the world, together forever is one, and I'll wait. If ever you should be in doubt, and I'll pray they never can pull us apart, and I'll wait for the time when we'll be together every day. But I know if ever we'll be led astray, that I'll find my way back home to you again. At the end of the world, together forever is one, and I'll wait. If ever you should be in doubt, and I pray they never can pull us apart, and I'll wait. At the end of the world, together forever is one, and I'll wait. If ever you should be in doubt, and I'll pray they never can pull us apart, and I'll wait for the time when we be together every day.